Hello. I'm so honored and so very happy to be here tonight to celebrate the wonderful Edward Herrmann. I'm not certain of much in life, but I'm certain that Ed, let me just fix this, is one of the greatest readers I've ever worked with, will ever work with, and will ever hear. Ed loved what we do. He loved words, he loved ideas, he loved telling stories. When Ed was reading a good book, he was in his element, and that was a thing to behold. In MGM Technicolor, truly, he brought to life the work of Doris Kearns Goodwin, whose book, The Bully Pulpit, is up for 2 awards tonight, and won. David McCullough, Laura Hillenbrand, Stephen King, Roger Ebert, and so many others. One of my very first productions for Simon & Schuster, and one of my very favorites still, was No Ordinary Time by Doris Kearns Goodwin about Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, Ed territory. He dived into this book with such abandon and confidence and joy. I sat back, listened, and watched while something miraculous happened in the studio. The author Sarah Vowell said of Ed that the great thing about him was he could make anything sound reassuring. This is near an impossible trick considering that so much of his work had to do with history, perhaps the least reassuring of topics. Working with Ed was always an event. Upon his arrival, great conversation, high spirits, lots of opinions, the anticipation that something remarkable was about to happen. Very few props were needed. Dunkin' Donuts coffee, an almond Danish, a microphone, and the book. It was Ed who first taught me to love audiobooks, and I know I'm not the only one. He amassed devoted fans, listeners and authors. He raised the bar for all of us. Ed made us sound good, extremely good. Late in his life, Franklin Roosevelt sent a cable to Winston Churchill in which he celebrated their great friendship. FDR wrote, "It is fun to be in the same decade with you." I feel the same about Ed, and I miss working with him. So now, I think we're going to see a video. Is that happening? This is Laura Hillenbrand, author of Unbroken, which Ed recorded for Penguin Random House Audio.
I never met Ed Herrmann in person, but when I write, he sits beside me. Ed was our virtuoso of language, and his every reading was a lesson in storytelling. He taught the immense power of restraint and how narratives breathe in the spaces between sentences. He demonstrated the beautiful paradox of laying down a word so gently that it fells his listeners. He lifted words from repose on the page and summoned life from them. His voice was the leavening of literature. To hear him speak my words, I told him when he recorded my audiobook, was like listening to John Lennon sing my song. So when I write, I hear him in my mind, showing me where my words flow and where they snag. For as long as I write, he'll be with me, helping me tell my stories. Goodbye to Ed Herrmann, and thank you. You were the best there ever was.
We're so happy tonight. We're so happy tonight to have Star Herrmann, Ed's wife, and their daughter Emma Herrmann with us. I would like them to join me on stage, if they would, to accept the Special Achievement Award for Edward Herrmann.
My father was not simply an incredible performer, but also a friend, a mentor, and also a father to everyone he met. His work and relationship with you all, sorry. Go ahead. Meant a lot, and he will love you forever, more than words can express. Thank you.
If Ed was here, he would be thrilled to have you all here and to honor him. He loved the spoken word. He loved good books. He had an incredible library. And as people have said, how he loved to read and narrate. He would go crazy till the books would come because he'd have to sit and read through them before he would go and work on them. And we would talk about the characters and the feelings and everything. He honored every author that he narrated. No one was better than someone else. To him, that they were asking him to read their words was an honor. So he gave as much effort, whether it was Roosevelt to a murder mystery, it was a thrill to him. We've read to our children since they were little, every night trying to read books. And that would be one thing he would say to you: read to your family, read to your children. It is not a dying art. When you hear words, it makes it come alive. I will tell you, we have tons of audio books. I must keep them in business because I always have like 3 or 4 books in the car, and Ed would, we would listen to them together, and he'd think, well, he says, do I sound as good as they do? And I'd think, oh yeah. Do you think I could have recorded that? But, probably yes, but this is, So, and I'm gonna tell you something that he did for me that was absolutely thrilling. My favorite presents from him is he would give me a book I wanted, and every night when we got in bed, he would read to me. I can't tell you how wonderful. I would sit in bed and he would read to me until I'd maybe nod off and he'd say, are you asleep? No. And sometimes when he was ill, I would say, let me read to you. And I'd be reading, he goes, that's okay. I'll read. I want you to know how many times books on tape have saved my life, driving to schools, driving to New York. And I'm going to tell you one little story, and I'm going to sit down. My daughter's doing an apprenticeship in New York this summer. I was sitting outside the dorm trying to move her in. I had been sitting there in the car for over an hour and a half to not get a ticket. The one time I went in the building and came out, I got a ticket. I was going crazy, and Emma goes, I'm trying to get stuff worked out so I can get moved in. I was sitting in the car, and I thought, I've got this book on tape, The Golem of Hollywood. I'll just put it back on. So I sat there for another hour like that because I was so enthralled. I listen to them when I drive in and out of New York. They keep me awake. They inspire me. And every time I'm doing something all day long, I keep, how quick can I get in my car again so I can listen to this? And I'm not kidding you. Or I'll clean my car and turn the radio on really loud so I can hear the books on tape. And you guys have been great friends to me since he's passed. It's been listening to books on tape that have helped the time go. He loved you, he respected you, he loved working in the studio, and he loves the history that comes with books. So read, get others to read, get people to listen to books, and don't let it die, but keep it going. Thank you so much.